Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I wanted to make a nightclub popularity guide. I never made a nightclub popularity guide. I made a guide on the underground portion of the nightclub, the actual business portion, but I never made a guide on the popularity system, the above ground. And the reason I never did it was because it wasn't really worth it. You know, back then, when you would do a popularity mission, the payouts were just awful. Really bad. You would get half a bar of popularity, meaning you would have to do 10 popularity missions. It was just bad. It was not worth it. But since the casino update, Rockstar has actually buffed popularity missions, and they've actually increased the popularity payout. It used to be 0.5 bars, like I said, but now it actually pays 1.25 bars. So instead of having to do 10 missions, you now have to do 4 missions to get full popularity. That is, if you have no popularity. So in this guide, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be covering all the missions that you can get through popularity and giving my tips and tricks on them, as well as how popularity works. The only missions that I won't be covering in this video is I won't be covering those special missions that, you know, Laszlo and English Dave call you with, because those missions are just pretty rare. The only thing I'll really say about those missions is whenever they call you to do them, just do them, because I've been running popularity missions for like months now. Ever since the casino update, you know, I've been doing popularity missions a lot, and Laszlo and English Dave have not called me for months, so those missions not really going to cover. I'm going to cover each mission that you can get through the computer, as well as giving my tips on how to do them pretty quickly. So now, let's get started. The first thing that I wanted to cover in this popularity guide is DJs. Now, DJs, should you book them? It depends on how you feel. Me personally, I don't think that it's worth it. Now, the first time that you get a DJ, you do that unique mission for each one, you will actually get 100% popularity. So it is worth doing those first missions for them. Now, rebooking them, $10,000 each time. If you rebook a DJ, you're going to get 10% of popularity, or half a bar of popularity. This is $10,000 each time. And if you don't feel like doing the missions, you could just keep doing this, changing the DJ, and just keep doing that. But, you know, I think it's personally a waste of money. I think it's a lot easier to do missions now, especially with them paying 25% more popularity. If you really care about the music and you want to mix things up with the music, then change the DJ, but I don't care about the music personally. I just see the popularity as a source of money making. So the first tip that I wanted to give about popularity missions is that you can actually do these in invite-only lobbies. I recommend doing them in invite-only lobbies if you're planning on doing them. That way, you know, people don't mess up your missions. And you see, I'm doing it here in a public session, but this session, it was all pretty much my friends here. It was a friendly, peaceful lobby, so I didn't really have to worry about that. But other than that, I recommend doing them in invite-only lobbies. Now, for popularity missions, like I said earlier, each popularity mission you complete, you get 0.25% of supplies, so 4 popularity missions in total, and you will have the full popularity bar. When you have a full popularity bar, the maximum the safe will produce is $70,000. It will actually not fill up past that, and every in-game day, every 48 minutes, it will produce $10,000 on full popularity, and it will actually go down 5% in supplies, I believe, every 48 minutes, and then after the first 48 minutes, $10,000, second 48 minutes, $10,000, and then the third 48 minutes, I believe it goes down to $9,000, and then the fourth 48 minutes, it goes down to $8,000, and then it goes down to $7,000. I don't recommend doing a popularity mission unless you have 25% of supplies that you need, of popularity, I should say. I shouldn't be calling it supplies, but don't do it unless you have that 25% missing there. It's not worth doing a popularity mission just to get like another $1,000. If you're making $9,000 every 48 minutes, that's still pretty good. Only do it when you have 25% of popularity that you need. That's when you do it. So if you have it filled up, wait a few hours. So if you're playing for a few hours, then do the mission. You don't actually have to do these missions a lot. Do them in between something. You know, like if you're doing like crates or you're doing like an import-export sale, check your popularity, see what it's at, and if you need to do one, do one. Now, talking about the missions. The first mission that I'm going to be talking about here is I'm actually going to be talking about the worst mission, the hardest mission, which is actually the poster one. This mission people hate the most, and they actually argue this is the worst mission. Now, this mission, what I recommend doing is take some kind of special air vehicle, like a thruster or an oppressor. Thruster or oppressor, either one works. Don't use a car because it'll take forever, because these drops are very far from each other in the city, and it actually takes a pretty decent amount of time just to put up the poster. Even when you go up to it, you can see how long the animation is for it. So use a thruster or a jetpack. You want to use a vehicle that you can land pretty quickly and that you can get out of, run right up to the drop, get as close to the drop as you can, and then get right back in that vehicle and take off quickly. The thruster for me works. An oppressor will work just the same. Don't use use a helicopter because you're going to have to land the helicopter, then you have to get in the helicopter, you're going to have to wait a few seconds for, the blades to start spinning and then take off. Use a thruster or a jetpack. Try to hit these in a pattern. try to hit them in a pattern. So see where those specific drops are and try your best to hit them in a pattern. And even if you try to hit them in a pattern, this mission is going to take a decent amount of time. This mission always takes pretty long. You can always, find a new session. If you find a new session, you don't have to deal with that popularity mission if you don't want to do it, but there is a 5-minute cooldown per each popularity mission, so you might want to keep that in mind. And when you make all the posters, you're pretty much done here. Just hit them in a pattern, use a vehicle like the thruster or an oppressor. It'll make the mission a lot easier, even though it is the worst popularity mission. Another nightclub mission that we have is escort VIPs. Now these missions, they actually come in 2 types. The first one that you see right here, I'm driving a shafter, and the other one is the Patriot stretch. And basically in this mission, all you do is you pick up 2 VIPs and you take them back to the nightclub. There's nothing really special about this mission. I personally think it's pretty easy, especially the shafter mission. The only tip that I'll give really about this mission is that you don't always have to take the GPS route, because if you know some side streets, there's actually some faster routes that you can take faster than the GPS route. But this mission, doesn't really have many tips. It's just a simple mission. Pick up the VIPs, drop them off at the nightclub, and you're done. Next up, we have the Blimp mission, and the Blimp, I'm actually surprised just by how fast this thing is. It's not extremely fast, but for its size, it's decently fast, and this is one of the easier missions. The Blimp drops, they're relatively close to each other. There's always 3 drops. Now, they could be at different places like the Vespucci Canals, they could be at the Mace Bank Arena, they could be in downtown Los Santos, they could be over the University of Los Santos. And like I said earlier, you can do these in invite-only lobbies, these nightclub popularity missions. This one, you especially never ever want to do this one in a public lobby, because if you do this one in a public lobby, people see that giant blimp flying over and they're going to want to shoot it down. They're just going to want to blow it up. So this one, never ever do this one in a public lobby. It's very easy to get shot down. The blimp actually does have countermeasures. It does have flares, which I'm surprised by. And the tips that I can give to make this mission go pretty quickly is fly a little bit low, not too low, because if you fly too high, you cannot play the music over the drops, and kind of just lean into the drop. Slow down a little bit, because if you go too fast, you might overshoot the drop. Just play the music, and then right when the music is about to end, the interest bar right there, it's about to end, just start moving. Start moving up. You're not going to know where the next drop is, but just start moving forward a little bit, just so you can start moving towards the next drop already, and just continue to the next one, make the drop there, play some music, and then when it's about to end, start moving already. You can save some time, and then go to the 3rd drop, and you're pretty much done there. And when you're done with this mission, just jump out of the blimp, because you don't really need it afterwards unless you want to mess around with it, but this is actually one of the easier missions. Another air mission that we have is the Buzzard airdrop flyers. Now this mission is kind of easy, but it can be a little time consuming because of all the drops. And for this mission, what I recommend you do is the second that you get into the Buzzard, because the Buzzard will actually spawn right next to the nightclub, just get into the Buzzard and then take a look at your map. See where the drops are, because a huge mistake that I see people making with this type of mission, and also not just this specific mission, but also with the MC missions, because with the MCs, there's one sell mission that involves 3 Buzzard helicopters if you're selling full product, and each helicopter has 5 drops. Now, what a lot of people do is they actually fly all over the place. What I recommend doing is check the map, look at your map, see where all the drops are, and then try to hit them in a pattern. Hit them in a pattern. See what area would be the best flight pattern. Go through that flight pattern, hit those drops in a pattern, and you'll actually be able to complete it much faster. Like, take a look at it here. I'm flying in a pattern. I'm hitting them all. I have the next one already planned, what I'm going to hit after that one. Hit them all, and look at this. I completed in 5 minutes, and that might seem like a lot of time, but for this mission, completing the Buzzard mission with 8 drops all over the place in 5 minutes, that's actually pretty good time, especially when it took me a minute just to get up on the roof. So that's pretty good time for this mission. So nothing really special here, but just try to fly in a pattern. Take a look at where the drops are, because the drops aren't always going to be the same. They actually spawn in different locations. It's not going to be the same necessarily for you as it is here for me. Just take a look at your map when you get into the Buzzard. See what pattern you can fly in. Fly in that pattern. It'll save you some time. Pretty easy mission. And also, you get to keep the Buzzard at the end of this mission, which is actually pretty useful. Moving on, the next mission that we have is destroy all of the rival supply trucks. Now this mission is not technically an air mission, but you should still make it an air mission. What I like doing on this mission, there's always 4 supply trucks, they're all over the place, and they're actually pretty far from each other. What I do is I take like an oppressor, or a Buzzard, or a thruster jetpack, I just fly it towards the closest truck that I see, and also I look for a truck that's actually decently close to an air vehicle spawn, specifically a plane vehicle spawn. So I blow up that truck, and what I do is actually fly right over here to the racetrack, because I know that there is actually an air vehicle spawn location here, land my jetpack, and I actually spawn the Pyro, which is actually the fastest plane in the game, and I just fly the Pyro, I fly it all over the place, and if you fly it at a higher height, you will actually fly even faster. And what I do is I just hit the trucks in a pattern. I see which truck is the closest to me, and then I just try to hit them in a pattern, go for the next truck after that, and next truck, lock onto them with the Pyro missiles and just blow them up. You don't have to use the Pyro like me, but some kind of air vehicle that can get very fast across the map, because you can see, look at how far these drops are, these vehicles, I should say. There's one all the way at the bottom of the city, there's one near the top of Sandy Shores, there's one on the far left side of the map, so using a Pyro in this mission is very, very useful. Some kind of air vehicle that can get you around the map pretty quickly, and you can actually complete this mission pretty fast. I mean, take a look at my timer, how fast I completed this mission. Moving on, another mission that we have here is we have Recover the Supplies. And this mission can actually come in two types. The first type that you see me doing right here is where a rival gang will actually steal the supplies. Here it was actually south in Los Santos. This one was actually pretty easy, and it was not too far from my nightclub. And I just drove it back, kill the gang, take the truck, drive it back. There's actually an annoying version of this mission, which can actually spawn all the way in Stab City at the Lost MC trailer park, where the Lost MC are actually patrolling the truck. They're actually keeping an eye on the truck. You just go in there and you just kill them all, and that route, it can be frustrating taking that route all the way up from Stab City all the way back down to the city. The tip that I can give for that location, if you're taking it from Sandy Shores, is to not take the hills, because if you take the hills, it's actually a lot slower, like a post-op van pretty much. Taking the mule truck up the hills is really annoying. I prefer taking the highway and just going all the way around, but other than that, nothing really special here. Just kill the enemies, drive the truck back. Now the second version of this mission is actually more simple. All you basically do is just pick up the truck and just drive it back, and you actually have a bar of health for the truck, so just try not to crash it there, but just deliver the truck back to the nightclub, and that's it. Nothing really special on these missions. The last mission that we have here is smash up the developers' vehicles. Now this mission, I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. The second you see this mission, you're like, oh no, not this. A lot of people really, really hate this mission, because when you take the baseball bat and you're smashing up each vehicle, it takes forever to complete this mission. But let me actually tell you a tip. This mission is actually very easy. There's actually a very easy way to do this mission, and that you can actually turn it into one of the easiest missions. You don't actually need to use the baseball bat. Don't use the baseball bat. What you can do is you can actually use a Buzzard. If you're really good with a Buzzard helicopter, you know how to balance it, you can use the machine guns and just shoot the vehicles. Look at how much damage the Buzzard machine guns do. And after I damage that vehicle, I just fly over the next vehicle, and I damage that vehicle, and I take care of that vehicle next. Now, be very careful not to kill the developers. What I recommend doing is just shoot a little bit. Just shoot a little bit, let the developers run out of there. You'll see the developers run out of there because it's very easy for them to run in front of your fire, and if you kill too many of them, you will actually fail the mission, and just shoot the vehicles and just destroy them all. And if you're not good with a Buzzard, if you own the Speedo Custom with the turret on top, you can also use that. So use the Speedo Custom or the Buzzard. I'm sure you could also use other weaponized vehicles, but that's the two that I found the most helpful. Speedo Custom and Buzzard. Very useful in these missions. Just shoot up the vehicle, damage it, and that's it. You're done. So that's pretty much it for this popularity guide. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that you guys found this helpful. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, post them down below. I'll try to reply to as many people as I can and help them out there. I hope this guide has helped people out. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, and if you're new to my channel, enjoy my content, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone.